podcasts and have just see depending on how many people come online virtually. We should just go in person. Yeah.
We could go in person if you want.
So just can you see
Okay.
people?
I can't see anybody.
Okay.
I'm having a little bit of moment with your sharing is not turned on.
Okay.
Okay. Send a request.
Okay, you should be able to share now.
Okay, great. Am I making funny faces? This mouse is a challenge. Okay, I have a PowerPoint presentation here, but I really want to share the Jake's screen.
Can you speak one more time, Margaret? We're working on the audio in the big room.
Sure. We're not live with everybody, are we?
Not yet. We have one attendee on the call right now, and we've
Okay.
got about
Can you
four
have
people in the room.
Jake come in and help me because I'm having trouble finding his. I wanted to show everybody the Google online place where you would sign up to get Google.
Yeah,
And
definitely. He's working on the speaker in here, and then I'll send him right over there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And welcome to everyone on the call. We're going to be getting started in just a minute.
I'll say something, Margaret.
Yes, sir. I wanted to do that other tab that you had open with QuickBooks. And I'm not seeing it to share it, Jake. I'm sorry. It's not on your screens. That's desktop 2. Okay.
Okay.
Can you come in here real quickly and just
Yep.
show me?
Go
Thank
ahead
you
and
so
turn
much.
yours off. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like the you guys look great up there.
I'm hearing it coming through somewhere, but it's very light. You don't mind, just keep talking, Margaret, and introduce yourself.
Okay, that way you can do your audio checks. Most definitely. Do you want me to tell you stories about embudo? So 2 weeks ago, we killed a rattlesnake. It was pretty crazy. We're starting to kill them more than just one every 12 years or something. We're killing one like every couple of months in the summer now. It's getting really crazy. I don't know if it's because it's dry and they're all coming to drink from the river and I'm just in their path. Or maybe I just attracted them all because somebody told me to leave milk out for them. And maybe they're just all coming for the milk. It did not get rid of the snakes. It maybe is attracting them. I don't know. How's that for audio, guys? Are you guys still doing audio? Take a picture of that.
Mute yourself for a second. So is this you?
I
Awesome.
think that's me.
Okay, and
the
then is
talkie puppy.
and then so you go ahead and start. Thank you all. Thank you so much for your patience. We're gonna just go ahead and get started with the folks that are online, and then we'll have Margaret come in person to the folks that are here. So in the meantime, we're gonna work on the audio, but without further ado, Margaret Campos, thank you all.
Thank you. And I can recap with those folks in there
Perfect.
very
Yep.
quickly as well. Okay. So can everybody see okay, so first of all, can you see the screen? Am I sharing properly? I'm not sharing it properly, I don't think. Here, let me go. Wouldn't you know, the minute he walks out of the room, there it is. Okay. Oh, duh. Look at this. Dual screen, dual monitors. Hello. Okay, folks. It's not coming up, is it? I'm not showing my screen. How is this not working, folks? Let me do this again.
Okay, we can hear you.
You can hear me, but you can't see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Do you see the QuickBooks online screen here?
Yep.
Oh, great. Well, then I don't know why it's showing me my picture instead of the screen. Great. Glad to hear that. Okay, well, let's get started. I'm not exactly going to teach you how to be a proficient QuickBooks user today, but very quickly for those people on the line, do you already use a software to do your accounting? Bougie, Rose? Anybody out there using a software? Okay, well, I'm going to assume that maybe you aren't and you want to set up for one, okay? Or here's the chat. Let's see. I can go look at the chat over here. What am I seeing from people? Yes. So Rose, you use QuickBooks right now. Is that correct? Okay. So I'll assume that half of you are online and half of you are not using the software. Okay, so remember last week I talked about, making order out of chaos. The way you do that is by compiling all your invoices, all your money, all your expenditures, the revenue coming in into one place so you can look at the information globally. Oh, and Bougie, you had a bad experience. Maybe we can talk one-on-one late after this and you can share with me what went on. Also, Rose, there's going to be an opportunity after my little presentation here if you want to schedule 15 minutes. If either of you that's online have any questions for me, we can discuss those in private because I know sometimes when people are talking about money, they don't want to do that in front of everybody else or, their bookkeeping habits. I tell you all my bad habits because I want you to learn from it, but you might not want to share those with everybody else. So there is going to be that opportunity for you to spend some time with me one-on-one. What I did want to show you here, so then you guys have actually know how to go in there and sign up for the software, and I don't have to spend a lot of time showing you how to do that. What I did want to do was basically spend just a little bit of time. So talking about the different kinds of software that they have. For most small businesses that don't use payroll, you don't have to use the advanced. If you're not doing big projects that you're trying to track separately, if you're not doing inventory control, I would say as small businesses, most of us do not have to look at the advanced. The plus, it's $57.50 a month. I don't think most of you even need to do that. If you have employees that you're paying, then you might want to do the plus because it has the whole payroll module, and that allows you to be able to pay employees, and most especially to be able to pay your tax liability and file your tax reports on time. The software allows you to do all of that effortlessly. But if you don't have payroll, and here's a little kind of, I think I told you guys last week, but if you do have contract employees, QuickBooks pulled a fast one on all of us, and they now put 1099s and contract employees in the plus. But you can still track them as vendors in the Simple Start and just go online and create your own 1099s, and it costs you like $10. So if you have one contractor and you're going to do one 1099 at the end of the year, it certainly is a lot cheaper than paying an extra, what is this, $38.50 a month. That's pretty much about the only difference between the Simple Start and the Plus. It's the difference between using payroll and not using payroll. I recommend to all of you guys, if you have, even Bougie, if you had a bad experience, maybe it's something I can help you work through. But I definitely recommend using software that can help you not just track your expenses and your revenue, but actually develop reports that help you figure out not just, am I doing well, but why am I doing well? Last week, I really emphasized being a master of your universe. The software allows you to compile everything and look at it from a global perspective, but then drill down and look at the details. Like you might see a big dollar amount and say, oh my gosh, what did I spend this money on? Because, by the end of the year, you kind of forgot maybe what you did in January. I know I do. But it allows you to go back and say, oh, I can't believe we did that. We don't want to make that mistake again, or we did something really right. Let's keep doing that. So it allows you to look at that kind of information. But, chaos is still going to live in your mail if you don't deal with it. I think I told you the story about how I ended up paying a penalty on my taxes because I filed them late. The penalty for filing a late tax return, a 1120 for a corporation is, or it used to be $1,260. That kind of thing starts to become very costly versus just paying 19 a month, and the software reminds you of what you have to pay. That was an annual report. I don't know if the software would have helped me with that. I knew the deadline. I just missed the post office, honestly. But anyway, it helps you keep your payroll straight if you are doing the plus. I did want to talk a little bit about the fiduciary responsibility that you have when you are paying employees. I think I'd be remiss in not mentioning that because I think I mentioned that when you collect money from people's withholding, you withhold it from their paycheck, they're allowing you to hold that money in trust and pay it to the IRS on their behalf. There's big penalties and liabilities for those payments. Okay, but I'm going to jump into a little spreadsheet that I have over here to run you through the kinds of things that we do see on QuickBooks. Gosh, Margaret loves her PowerPoints, right? Okay, so last week and the past 2 weeks, we talked about why we need bookkeeping. Well, if you're using a software, like if you're using Square or something through your POS system, all they're going to do is they're going to allow you to, well, you can pay things online, but the reports are very simplistic. But you could use that. I'm not saying you absolutely need to use a software system either. I worked with a grandma from Santa Ana Pueblo, and I'm going to tell you the notebook that she kept, she had everything in there. She moved her balances forward. So, well, first of all, she didn't carry any accounts receivable or accounts payable. She paid everything cash. But that little notebook was so detailed that I really couldn't have given her a software and said improve upon it. But there's very few people that can do that on paper like she did, especially when you're running like Bougie, you probably have a lot of inventory items that you need to keep track of. You want to be able to know, wait a minute, how much am I paying for these? And, am I charging enough? So the software enables you to deal with your expenses, all of your money in a more organized fashion. But I never finished telling you about the mail, right? So I went to a farm conference one time and I saw this guy that had the coolest setup. He actually brought like his whole setup from home where he had a desk, a binder with a trash can and mail opener and a 3-hole punch. And what he did was pretty much had two binders. One was personal and one was business. And every piece of mail that came in, he either threw it away in the trash can right away, or he 3-hole punched it and put it in one of those two binders. What that automatically did is by putting things in the binder last, what first one last, in essence, every single receipt is going to be in there by date. And that's going to correspond to your bookkeeping so that when you go in there and physically run a report and you want to know where something is and go back and look at the invoice, it's right there. So it's important as important to keep track of your mail as it is your invoices in an organized fashion, because you might have to go back to those. Okay, so back to QuickBooks. QuickBooks will help you do invoicing. So if you like Bougie, if you sell, I don't know if you sell any wholesale accounts, it would allow you to send the bill for them. It would allow you probably don't use recurring billing, any of you, but it will allow you to accept online card payments. It'll even provide a little POS system, kind of like Square, or it'll interface with Square so it posts automatically. It'll help you either do payments online or do cash, generate checks. It'll also help you to send emails by text, email, or I don't know why you do social media, but I don't even know how QuickBooks would work with social media. I have not given that one a thought. Okay, but the big one is bank transfers, and it will let you sync to your bank account so that everything that gets sent to the bank will come in and you just basically go on down and accept it or deny it. This PowerPoint, I'm going to move on. This PowerPoint's a little outdated. Look at how much it's gone up in just a couple of years. Not too much. So a couple of years ago, the simple start was $15 a month, and it's now gone up to 19. Not a terrible increase. I think that's manageable for the benefits that you get. But they also it syncs with Square, Fundbox, Amazon Business, PayPal. So it's pretty versatile and it works well with other software. It plays nice. But this is the part that I really like, okay? Whatever hits your bank on your bank statement, it'll roll in to your bank account, and then you should do your bank reconciliation every month. And I think I told you why. It's not so much that you don't trust that this mechanism is working properly, that the data is flowing in and out, but I'll tell you one situation where it doesn't work. But first of all, let me tell you that it works almost 100% of the time, assuming that your QuickBooks account is paid and current. Because if for some reason you let your QuickBooks lapse for like 2 or 3 months, that data will not roll in automatically, and you might have to do some manual entries. So if you commit to this, you kind of want to commit to that monthly payment because it does enable this feature. The thing about doing your bank reconciliation, the bigger picture, is looking at all those expenses that hit your bank statement every month. Because as I mentioned last week, once in a while something will come through and it wasn't mine. You want to catch those early. You only have 90 days to make a change. Okay. It'll do a mileage tracker, but I prefer to do track my mileage on my calendar. Um, Now with my phone, I'm tired of apps, so I have a calendar. And if I go somewhere like I went to Albuquerque, I put in where I went and for whom, and then I track my miles and I put in a spreadsheet. Probably a lot more work than if I had an app, but it works for me because that's the one expense that people fail to keep track of. And I did some bookkeeping with one person one time and I helped him get all his accounts straight. And I said, "Come on, let's sit down and try to create a mileage report for you so you could take that deduction." It's 72 cents a mile right now. So me traveling from Embudo and back home, it's like 220 miles. That's like 140, $150. If you walk away from that expenditure, it could be the difference between showing a profit that you have to pay a substantial amount of taxes on and just reducing your basis so you don't have to spend as much money on that. Track your mileage, it's worthwhile. 72 cents a mile is a lot of money. The Simple Start, I think we talked about that earlier. It helps you track expenses, maximize your deductions. It will do the mileage tracking, help you run reports. They're very general, very simple. They're canned reports, so you don't have to think about it anyway. And it'll help you manage the contractors, but it will not do the 1099 for you. I think this is an old screen. Okay. So what do we want to do? When you're setting up your QuickBooks, it'll ask you all of these and to select something. If you hit skip on any one of these, you guys probably know this, it's to readdress. If you want to go back in and something that you are not currently doing but is offered, you can go back in and set it up. We already talked about all this. So the most important thing that I think that you need to do when you go into QuickBooks and you set it up is you need to clean up your chart of accounts. They give you this generic list and there are so many items in there and you want to consistently code your expenditures properly so that you can see these reports that are a summary and not have a million items on there to track. So I recommend that people go in there and clean up things like if you'll never give a loan to others, if you hit on this little toggle on the right-hand side, it'll allow you to delete that or make it inactive. And that's what you want to do. You want to make it inactive because we're not going to loan money to anybody. I'm not in that business. You want to clean that up so it makes it easier to use your software in the future. Okay, so once we clean up our chart of accounts, there's how we go in, we make them inactive. You look at all your revenue expense accounts. They should match up with your what? What should our chart of accounts match up with? Come on, I said it last week. I know I'm not in a classroom, so that's just how I talk when I'm in a classroom, but there's no one here to talk to me. Okay, the chart of accounts should match these lines over here that you're going to report on for your taxes. If you want to go back down and add a little bit of resolution, they allow you to add sub accounts so that you can summarize them, but for your purposes, look at a little bit more detail. And at the end, we run off profit and loss reports. Now, people say, Margaret, why do you run it off with a monthly? You can just look at the total and tell the system, I only want to look at the total. Or you can say, I want to look at my reports by month or by quarter. I want to look at 3-year comparison. I want it to compare this year to the past 2 years. There's a whole list of canned reports out there. And to be able to look at things and be able to, like I said, that global picture. But what I can't show you right now, because this is a PowerPoint and I don't have an actual account up, but if you see something like meals and entertainment and you're like, what is that? You can double click and it'll actually give you a transaction list of all the meals and entertainment that you spent money on. Okay. This is this is not my profit and loss statement. It's somebody else's. I don't go out to eat that much. These were people that traveled with their business. I see that we have 7 minutes left to go, and I know I'm going to move into another room pretty soon. So, Rose, Bougie, do you guys have any questions for me right now? And if you don't have any questions right now, do you think you might need to sit down for a one-on-one? I could stay, we could schedule a time after this presentation to spend a few minutes with you if you have something in private that you would like to talk to me about.
Okay. I'm definitely interested. I don't think my business is going to be as complex as most farms, just because I kind of have like niche products. Um, so I think there might be a possibility I could do this through Excel or something and just have all the different, you know, documents fill in for each other. I don't know. I know I did that, in college, and I created this whole Excel worksheet thing that broke down everything I did, and I imagine I could do it again, but for my business. So, do you think that's something that could be done in Excel, or like a
You
customized?
definitely could. Um,
Uh,
I actually, I'm sorry, I think I cut you off a little bit. Did I? Sorry. Uh,
well,
okay.
it's just that I am so upset with QuickBooks, like the company, and I'm just like, oh, like I'm one of those people who like will never go. I'll boycott if I feel like I feel wronged by the company, and so
Oh, I hear
that's
you when it comes to Intuit right now.
I can imagine it's great for everyone else, but for me, for my own personal reasons, I will not. I don't think I would. I'd rather get a notebook and write it down, just like that old lady in house or wherever, you know.
Okay, so Bougie, you see that screen right in front of us right now?
Mm,
That I have recreated that in an Excel spreadsheet.
yeah.
You just put that into an Excel spreadsheet, and basically what you can do is I put it so I had this was my summary sheet, and then I
Mm,
tied every single cell to macros. So basically, every month I would enter in all the expenses for that month, created a spreadsheet for that, but it gets complicated because then I had to create columns for the expenses. So I had to create, these are vertical. I had to, in the spreadsheet, the individual tabs, create the same columns up here on a horizontal so that I could do a macro and basically draw in the data from each tab to summarize. I stopped
mm,
giving out this spreadsheet because people had such a hard time with it. You really have to be a high level Excel user and understand macros. And the minute you copy over a row or it like messes up, and I had to consistently keep going back and connecting the macros. So
oh,
if you're a super Excel user, definitely. I did it for 2 years, but guess what? I'm going back to QuickBooks because for $19, even though like I'm with you, I won't eat Chick-fil-A. And I was having a really hard time with Intuit for a minute, but I cannot find another tool that serves me as well as this one. So I might just have to swallow it and use QuickBooks for a little bit longer until somebody out there comes out with a software a little bit
right.
better and with more political integrity, I guess. So I hear you, Bougie. I don't know what to offer you, but you can definitely do it in Excel.
I just don't think I'm gonna have like a lot of data input. I think it should be pretty basic. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah. Okay. Thank you. Maybe we could talk about it and discuss it one on one this week.
Okay. Let's do that then. Um, Rose, are you going to need some time? I'm just trying to kind of see how much time we have, and I know I'm going to go meet with some folks outside. Okay. Then I think we're about done with this session. If everybody wants to pop off and leave me alone and to talk with Bougie a little more. And then, Justin, do you want me out there like in maybe 15 minutes for the other folks?
Yeah, that worked perfect. And so, yeah, thank you again, Margaret. Hold on one second. We're going to fix our audio in here. How about now? Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit of a echo. Not too bad.
Okay, Jake's gonna fix it, but with just a little bit of echo.
All right, does that work now? Can you hear us? You hear us
Yeah, I
now?
can hear you. And the echo's pretty much good. And also, Roberta, I didn't mean to ignore you. If you want some time, we could meet up maybe. Are you gonna need some time? I just don't know if I can promise Justin I'll go out there in 15 minutes or half an hour.
Yeah. What we'll do is in the 15 minutes, we'll eat right now. We'll serve everyone, and you can come out in 15, and you could always schedule a one-on-one with Bougie.
Okay. All right. Let's do that.
Yeah, and before we get off the call, wanted to also say thank you again for hosting, Margaret. It's amazing, just a wealth of knowledge. Really appreciate you in the past workshops that we've done. And also going to do a quick introduction to 2 additional resources that we'll be having through AIBE at NMSU. So first one is going to be Russell Pedro, who's going to be hosting another series of workshops starting in August. And so we'll send additional information in a follow-up email after this call, as well as recording from these calls. But real quick, Russell, if you wanted to introduce yourself real quick.
All right. Good afternoon, good morning, afternoon. My name is Russ Pedro. It's a pleasure to be here. I own a company called Data Management of New Mexico. I might have met some of you at past AIBE events, but I'm very fortunate again to be working with Mr. Justin and the AIBE team on upcoming training in August. Have 3 workshops, a 3-workshop series. The first one I'm calling From Idea to Enterprise, launching your small business in New Mexico. So during this session, we will explore and discuss strategies to begin your small business journey, to include registrations, preparing for certifications, and developing partners for success. Another workshop that we're working on is called New Mexico Farmer Success, Nurturing a Community. During this session, we will invite special guests to join us to share their small business farm journey. We will discuss early beginnings, successes, failures, processes, and strategies they took as they developed as Pueblo farmers and how they impacted their communities. Lastly, I'm calling this Workshop 3 End Game Goals. So preparing your products for schools, grocery stores, co-ops, and elderly centers. So during this session, I want to invite special industry-specific guests to discuss strategies on what is required and needed by local farmers to reach their end game goals. So, exploring all the different nuances, all the different regulations to get your products into your local schools, grocery stores, co-ops, etc. So excited to host those coming up in August. And as Justin mentioned, we'll have more information coming out, whether it be both hybrid or in person. We'll get all that information out. But very excited to join you guys. In the meantime, if you have any questions or would like to learn any specifics within those genres, let us know. So thank you. And good to see you, Jake. It's been a while. So good to see you guys. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'll be sitting over here for a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell, so much. So again, really excited and grateful to have Russ joining us for those trainings in August. One additional resource that we wanted to introduce, we'll be working with Jeff Atencio from Rainwater Consulting. Rainstorm Consulting, I always get it wrong. He'll be offering his services to do any one-on-one consulting, particularly for our tribal farmers. So a quick introduction to himself as well.
Good afternoon, all. There we go. Like Justin said, my name's Jeff Atencio. I am from Okiawinga, Pueblo. I do have Rainstorm Consulting. I've been in the consulting now for about 5 years. I used to run San Juan Agricultural Cooperative many years ago. We did 100 acres of farmland out there. We processed and produced a line of products called Pueblo Harvest Foods. And I'm lucky that I was able to work with Margaret back then, and I'm working with her throughout these years is wonderful. She's a wealth of knowledge. And now coming in with AIBE, what I'm assuming is going to be one-on-one coaching and mentorship with the individual businesses, kind of helping you work through all of the particular technology or techniques or tools that you are being given through this particular project, kind of looking at the whole and kind of bringing it down from a 30,000 foot level to look at everything. How does it really work together? Where's my end game? Like it was just spoken to, how does accounting fit into it? How can you think of it differently? If you're having an issue or a problem, not only in the business, but how does your personal life maybe interface and really affect your business, maybe a positive or negative way, looking at various resources that you may not be aware of in your business, community, or within the state, and how it can really help move your business forward or address issues or things like that. And just kind of be there as a coach or mentor when you have questions or issues, just to make a little bit of sense of maybe what has been thrown at you to kind of put the pieces together.
Thank you, Jeff.
Just wanted to
Yep. And then one last word from us.
Jeff, I heard that you got an SBA award.
Yes.
For rural business, so I just wanted to.
Again, that concludes our online course. So everyone here, we're going to start eating, and then Margaret's going to get to some one-on-one. So thank you again, Margaret, for putting this together. Jeff and Russell, thank you again for attending, and looking forward to continue these services. Keep a lookout for that follow-up email with the to schedule one-on-ones with Jeff, as well as our August training with Russell. And have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you at the next one. And thank you to Jake as well for helping put this together.